title.
Hello, I am Rajarshi Pani. I completed my BTech in Mechanical Engineering from Punjab University in 2020. Afterwards, I worked in Rockman Industries in the production sector, followed by which I gave CAT 2021, in which I scored 98.05 percentile, and currently I am in IIM Bodh as a student.
So with less than 2 weeks to go for CAT, what would your strategies be for VRC?
So for VARC, I would like to say that try to find which type of questions you are more comfortable with. In my experience during when I was preparing, I was more comfortable with the comprehension based questions. So I tried to only practice those kind of questions as much as possible during these last 2 weeks and pay less attention to the parts that I was weak. I was like weak in the questions in which you have to form a paragraph, jumbled sentence questions, and synonym type questions. I was weaker in those, so I did not pay as much attention to them as I paid attention to the parts that I was stronger in, so that I can boast the effectiveness of solving the questions faster in those sections.
So similarly, what would your strategy be for the DILR section?
Similar to what I did for VARC, even in DILR section, I was going for sections that you are topics that you are more comfortable with. In DILR, it is much harder to divide into topics that you are comfortable with. But the major point was to practice as much as possible, to take as many mock tests as you can. At this point of time, it is very much important that you take mocks and try taking 2 to 3 mocks per day. It becomes very important. So, but if you are a working individual, it is tough to take 2 to 3 mock tests per day. So try to at least take a single mock each day and analyze what is going wrong. That is the most important in DILR. Now if you ask me about Quant as well, so in Quant section, now in Quant the topics are much more easily dividable. You know which topics, by now you would be knowing which topics you are comfortable with, which topics you are not comfortable with. Try to work on topics you are more comfortable with and try to increase the pace with which you can solve those questions. And also try to work on the topics you are not that comfortable, but try to get the basics clear even if you can't get the advanced clears.
So would you tell us something about your mock strategies?
So now the first thing about mock strategy is that try to take the separate test for each section. Like try to take a separate mock for VARC, start like this, then a separate mock for DILR, then a separate mock for QA. Most of the sites provide that kind of facilities, like a 40 or a 1 hour test for each section. And they have different stages of difficulty also, easy, medium and hard. So what that helps you with is that you can start building up your level of questions slowly, and that helps a lot. And later on, and one of the major, and then when you are done with each section wise, try to take the complete mock of all the 3 sections combined. And don't get disheartened if you are getting like low marks in your mock, like low percentile mocks, because the percentage of people that are giving mocks is actually very small compared to who will be going for the actual paper. So don't get disheartened by those. Even my mock results were percentiles were really bad, but I did pretty well during my actual exam. Also, after you are done with your mock, a major part would be analyzing the questions, like which questions you missed out, you weren't comfortable solving them. Try to look into the solutions that is provided. Most of the time they will give you a solution that is easy to done and can be done in a more time efficient manner. The thing about CAT is that you have to be very time efficient.
So Rajarshi, would you mind giving us some time management tips?
So now each section is divided into 40 minutes and each section is going to be available to you for 40 minutes only. After that it will get closed. So now during those 40 minutes, try to go for the questions you are comfortable with. Like for VARC, I went with comprehension questions first. Once they were done, I went and looked into the other questions if I had time. Similarly for Quant, what you can do is that look through the questions, go through the question one by one. And if you see a question that you are more comfortable with, first complete that and then leave the harder topics for later. That is one of the important things for time management. Try to do what you know first and then look into the questions that you don't know, try them later on.
So Rajarshi, what would your actual strategy be for the DDay?
One of the main things for DDay is for you to remain calm and composed. Don't overthink stuff. Just go, you have prepared well. If you have prepared well, it will go accordingly. And while you are giving the test, make sure that you don't over attempt anything. If you are like 50-50 on a question, leave it. The negative marks are not worth taking the risk. It's all about calculated risks, which in MBA you are going to be studying anyway. So that is one of the major things I will say for the DDay strategy. Don't overthink and don't try to take extra risk. Just do the questions that you're sure of.
You see some last minute tips and tricks that you would like to give to our viewers?
One of the major tip would be try to stay healthy. Don't overthink, don't over stress, because all this time you have been preparing for it. Don't let that go in vain by getting sick in the last moment itself. Try taking mocks, slow them down, and I would say that like take a break every once in a while for 2-3 days. Take a break, then go back to revising. It really helps a lot. I also took like frequent breaks in between. So that's a major tip that I would like to give. Don't forget why you started preparing for CAT. Always remember that. And with that note, all the best for your exams, and we at IIM Bodhya are waiting for you.